From the plains to every town, we're building futures, breaking ground. Teachers rising, voices strong, leading change where we belong. It's about the hearts we raise, lighting up the brighter days. Kansas Leads, we stand together, stronger now than ever, ever. Learning, growing, planting seeds, shaping tomorrow. Kansas Leads.
Hello, welcome to our conclusion lounge of the Leeds Lounge. The one we just want to thank everyone that made that magic happen. As always, I am Jordan.
And I am Dwayne.
And today we are honored to bring on Smoke to the lounge for the first time. Welcome, Smoke.
Hey, everybody.
So, once again, we just want to thank everyone for the magic that was this weekend. We changed the format up a little bit, and then sometimes change can be scary, change can be hard, but you guys took that and you ran with it. Those conversations were magical. I walked away excited and learned a lot of things, and it was just so fun to hang out with all of you this weekend.
Having the unconference, the ed camp format, you could tell that there was a little bit of hesitation at the very beginning because some of the people had no experience with that whatsoever. But once they got in and got it going, like, man, it was amazing to jump in and out of the conversations and to hear the magic that was going on in each of those sessions.
Well, there's something that's a truth. You put teachers together in a space, give them 20 seconds, and then they'll start talking, and then that's all you need. They'll take it from there. We don't have an opportunity often to just be collegial, just to have a conversation and unpack our thoughts or dream big together. We're just busy people. But in the Ed Camp format, my favorite part about it is it's all about teacher agency. So if you've got something you're curious about, odds are other people are curious about it as well. So let's all come together and share what we know and ask the questions we want. That's the best part about Ed Camp.
Definitely, there were a lot that had, you don't realize that every single person is an expert. You are an expert at something. So you bring value to every single conference that you come to. So it was amazing to see some of our attendees unleash that.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Jordan,
And
what's one of the
keynote,
best?
guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How about that keynote, guys? I mean, talk about magic and conversation and empowerment.
Yep. Yep.
He needs to come to every Kansas Leads from now on. Like, even if it's not as a keynote, he just needs to be in attendance. So
He's an honorary Kansan from this point forward. We'll just make it happen.
Absolutely. If
And
you guys have not checked out his blog, I got a little bit of chills going on when I was reading his blog earlier today. So if you haven't subscribed to his blog and get out in your email, do that. He's posted it on waltofwisdom.com. It's pretty powerful.
the wisdomofwalt.com.
That's
Yep.
one. Yeah.
But here's what was really terrific. This time of the year can be a little bit challenging for all of us. We've got state assessments that are kind of waving to us right after spring break. We have the winter kind of things that are transition. It's just not a high energy. We all get spring break to take a breath, and then we can jump in again. But I think this was really good timing, even though we rescheduled because of weather. Talk about going from -8 degrees when we had to schedule to almost 80 when we rescheduled. Talk about a flip, right? However, it was perfect timing. So many of our attendees that came were saying things like, I needed this right now. I needed that uplift just to help me go further. And the other piece that I'm hearing as I was walking around is, that's something I've been wanting to think about. I just haven't had the chance to unpack my thinking. So that keynote was, and yes, everyone knows I'm a Disney nerd. So it was all Disney goodness for me, but it definitely kept what we all needed to hear. And say it after me, fellas, the bigger the dragon,
the better your story.
That's it. And for those of you who are like, Smoke, what's this all about? It means that we all get challenges, but because there are challenges that happen, that allows us to innovate and reimagine things even better. Pivots are not Setbacks, pivots are opportunities.
Mhm.
My students right now are working on fictional narratives, and I was talking about like story plot and all that all that kind of rising action, and said, guys, every good story needs conflict, and I was talking about that, and in my brain, I was just thinking about Jeff the whole time. Like every good story needs some form of conflict. So yeah, it was powerful stuff.
It was. I actually saw a few tears of inspiration in the audience, and I really think it was honing in on what we needed to hear right now of like, you're doing good work. It's hard, but I'll tell you, education, the hard is what makes it awesome. You know, it's just we are so blessed that we get to hang out with young people that are discovering that they could do more than they imagined. And we get to be there and ringside to do that every single day.
Can I
It
give
is
a
that part. Oh, yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out to one of those young people that I
Great.
was very blessed to be able to finally talk my daughter into, who is a Pitt State attendee, who not quite sure what her future holds. She knows that, like, she works with kids, behavioral psychology, recreational psychology, but it made me feel so good with the format, the unconference, where she came over to me and asked, like, do you think anybody would want to know about like SEL, social emotional learning, and how do you tie that into an already developed curriculum? And I was like, come on over. We wrote it on the board. That table was so full. And I walked away. My daughter is usually very reserved, very shy. But as I was bouncing around to the other tables, I happened to glance over and she was just speaking. And I could see like veteran teachers like hanging on her every word. And I really did have a tear. It was one of those like proud dad moments, but it was like, wow, you found your voice in this area and it's something that you're passionate about. So I know that wasn't exclusive just to her. That was something, but that was something that I was super proud of.
That's awesome. And Jordan, as you're popping around and attending different sessions and joining in conversations, what were some of your favorites?
I I don't know if I can think of a specific moment that I just liked how the conversations maybe they started here and we had this conversation about like I went to a table that was elementary science because that's where I teach science and social studies. But really quickly we also learned that hey, we actually have resources for science. What we don't have is resources for social studies. So like let's turn the conversation that way. It was just the conversations about like what people really wanted and connecting across those districts, which is what Leeds is all about. With here's what we do for social studies. Here's what we do for social studies. It was just good conversations.
I love it. What about you, Dwayne? What are the other sessions you enjoyed?
I'm gonna tell you, my mind was blown by an amazing preschool teacher in Wichita who we've over the last couple of years, like because of this thing, COVID that came along, we have a lot of our kindergartners that they don't have those social skills developed. So we're still trying to teach them how to interact with one another. We've been having a lot of the rough play at recess. And that's
Mm.
something that usually it's one of those that you catch it and you like make them disperse and teach them other games to play. But she said that they do something called rough and tumble play, which was a new concept to me that they teach that in preschool. And it was something that I have already taken back to my team, but it was like risk taking play. And I already have a book on order, but it's one of those things that instead of building anxiety within our students of always saying, be careful, be careful, be careful, give them explicit language of what you want them to do. So it's like, make sure you land on your feet, make sure that you know that check your surroundings, those kind of things, instead of just always, you need to be careful because we're creating those anxious monsters.
That's really fascinating. I would
Mhm.
have loved that conversation.
I know
Uh,
23 years of teaching, and I never thought about like, okay, embracing the rough and tumble play. So,
but that's what's great about EdCamp is somebody
mhm.
has read a book and said, "Hey, I've been trying this out. What do you think?" That you get to glean all of that great, good, new information, yet they can pull from the wisdom of your own experience. It's really a win-win. My
Absolutely.
favorite session, however, we did a lot of Canva goodness, and I do love Canva, and there were some great conversations in there. Folks are really enjoying the shortcuts. For example, one of my favorites is if you're in presentation mode in Canva, You have to be where it's up on the screen, full screen, and you press a number on the keyboard, that will turn on a timer. That is exactly for the number that you put. If you press the number 4, you get a 4-minute timer. Press a 6, you get a 6-minute timer. And it just shows up on the screen, so you don't have to go find an extra tool. It's those little things that people are like, that just shifted everything for me, right?
And you just taught me that. So
Oh, there you go. Good. Another one is the letter M. It does a mic drop, so you might have to check that out.
Oh.
Well, but there was another great conversation that we were having post the keynote. And the conversation is, well, how do we take these concepts that are in the Wisdom of Walt and these leadership concepts, and how do we apply them in the classroom? What does it mean to bring a Disney, I don't want to call it Disney centered, but the elements of Disney and put them in your classroom so that kids feel welcome? Like, why do kids and humans love to go back to Disney over and over again? There are elements, they feel seen and welcome, all of that. That's really what we want to see happen in classrooms. It was a powerful conversation. And it just was the perfect kickoff for the book study. Do you guys hear about the book study?
I have heard something about it.
Tell us more.
Okay. Well, if those folks who came to Kansas Leads this last weekend, we gave each attendee a copy of the Book of Wisdom of Walt. Luckily, Jeff was there to sign the copy, so win-win. However, you do not have to have been at the Kansas Leads to be in the book study. Now, I don't have any more books to hand out because everybody took the wisdom with them, but it is a great book that is available. If you're on Kindle Unlimited, it's absolutely free on Amazon if you are part of Kindle Unlimited. If you want to get the book copy, it's in ebook, it's $10, so it's really not terrible. Paperback's around 12, and the audiobook is about 18. Now ask me if I have all three.
You have all 3?
I have all 3. It's terrible. Because I'm one of these people who drives between buildings, and some of our patrons around here are teachers. They have long distances to go to a school every day. So it's a great read and a listen along as you're going along. But you'll need a copy of the book, which you, like I said, you can get online. You will need a subscription to Disney Plus. Now, am I paying for that? No, I am not. However, you can get Disney Plus. You'll only need it just for a couple of months, and it's around $7, so it's not too terrible. Why do you need these things? That's the essential question. Because we are going to unpack how Imagineers designed for experiences in the park. Then use those concepts to say, okay, if an Imagineer looks at who the population that's coming in, it's like, how do we know our students really well, right? And how do we bake in elements of surprise and delight that actual purposeful, not just fluffy, but what is the purpose in all of this that we're doing? You're actually starting to think like a Disney Imagineer. We want you to watch the Imagineering story, just pieces, not all of it, because it's 6 hours, not that. Just little pieces. We'll give you exactly time frames to watch. And there's a new show on Disney Plus called, we call it Imagineering. And these are about 15-minute clips. We were just watching the one on robotics, at the Smokehouse this evening. And then there's these other little bitty 7-minute shows that are called One Day at Disney. And these are cast members who've been interviewed. Everything from an organist at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles to the person who is the veterinarian for all of the animals at Animal Kingdom. I mean, it's like career day, but super
How cool
cool.
of a job would that be?
Wouldn't that be amazing? And she was, I think in the video, she actually watches the pregnancy of a manta ray. So just, I mean, how cool is this?
Yes.
Right? Things that you don't imagine in life. But there are pieces of all of this that we can glean great concepts, passion, innovation, design, all of that. And then you'll take that plus the readings of the book to start to decide, what is it that I dream for my kids? What is the hope that I have for them? Who do I want them to be in the space that I get to work with them? And friends, there is one thing that we all have to know as educators. We've got to know kids in 2 ways. Do you know the 2 ways you have to know kids? You need to know people. You must know them as people and as learners. You need both. Okay. So learners, we're looking at that data. How are we doing on the fast bridge? We look at all of that. How are we getting along a little bit? You know, all of the data points from observation to hard data, right? We have all of that. But kids aren't numbers. Kids aren't data points. Kids are human. So we have to know them as people as well. For example, Jordan, I know that you are very passionate about Disney yourself. I also know that you're very passionate about your family. And Dwayne, I know you have a big heart for Hawaii. So knowing you as people, as an educator, if you were my students, I would know that I would figure out ways to tag in, like, why is important family? Why is family important to you? Excuse me. And when we're reading novels in class or whatever it may be, it's like, where are the parallels of this to your own lives? And if I know that you're a fan of Hawaii, Dwayne, I might just bake in a little Hawaiian goodness into our classroom. And maybe when you come into your kindergarten class, but I middle school language arts, right? Let's say we're doing a read time, just to sit around and do some little reading. I might just roll out a blue tarp, set it on the ground in the middle of the floor, pull up some floaties like you were sitting at the pool. I might pull out some leis for students to wear, and we're going to have some pool time doing some reading in my classroom. A little surprise and delight, room transformation. Is this a heavy lift? No.
Oh, and I can just imagine myself there, and I know how much more engaged I would be knowing that you took that extra interest in me.
And that's what Imagineers do. I'm so excited for this book. Now, fellas, you already know that not only is the book and the video, there's a third component to the course, and it's the WhatsApp groups. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I have, Dwayne and I are in the Imagineers group together on WhatsApp, and through your Google Classroom, you have a couple of prompts that you're asked, and you have to post in that WhatsApp group a couple times a week. And this first one has been so fun to read. The photo of your classroom and what you want from your kids and what you want your classroom to feel like, and then the passion that you have. It just like their passions also almost come out just in both messages. Like just you could tell who they are as educators and people to the point you were making just a few minutes ago. Like, I could tell the kind of classroom you want and who you are. It's been really cool.
What have you
And
liked about it, Dwayne?
it's so cool, like Jordan said, to be able to get that picture into their classroom, into their soul, and to be able to make that closer connection as people. And it's one of those that after getting to know them better in just not even a week's time, I'm already like, I can't wait to see them again at the next leads. I cannot wait. I mean, like we're best friends now.
I
So
love it.
I'm excited the connections that we're going to make throughout this book study. I'm stoked.
Well, another
That's
added benefit, Jeff Barnes, the author, is actually in the WhatsApp groups too, and he'll probably drop some wisdom and some knowledge every so often, so you'll actually get to interact with the actual author of the book at which you are doing the study for. I think that's pretty cool.
there's a master plan behind it all, right? And the workload is about 3 hours a week. So it's really not too terrible because we're offering this as a graduate level course. So going through this book study and the connections and all the pieces that go with that, you can walk away with 2 graduate credits from Wichita State for just the low price of $130.
Mm.
That is not bad, my friends.
Can't beat that.
You get to make real connections with real Kansas educators doing the real work just like you are. You get to be inspired from what you read in the book and from Jeff's input. You get to have a chance to throw crazy ideas out there. And I do love a crazy idea. I do love a crazy
Who
idea.
doesn't?
And what that means is that I'm dreaming big for kids, right? Honestly, the very first Disney teacher field trip I ever put together was a crazy idea that I had. And a fourth grade teacher says, I think we can do it. And I was like, game on, let's make this happen. So, with that, you get to have someone who's going to be there to encourage you. And not just one person, you get a community because these WhatsApp groups are just around 20, 24 people in each group, just making a small super friend, like a homeroom online. So it's amazing. All right. And I have to ask you, fellas, of not just that. I know you've read a little bit of the books yourself, and like, so what are some things that you're already kind of resonating with?
I love it. Like, and you kind of touched on it as well. When you get the idea, like, okay, I want my classroom, I want the Disney feel. Immediately, I think most people's mind would go, okay, I need to immediately put posters up or the characters or make it look like Disneyland or Disney World. But it's not that. The book is about making it feel like you're there. Like you do not have to change physically anything in your classroom. It's an atmosphere. It's a belonging. It's the how do you treat people that and how do you see them? That's the thing that I'm getting from it.
And that's beautiful. What about you, Jordan?
I actually I'm gonna take one from one of our podcasts with Jeff that we did. When we talked
Okay.
about is Walt's story is our story, and that's what he puts into his book too. Walt faced challenges. We face challenges. Our students face challenges. So if you've ever faced a challenge, you can be like Walt. If you've ever failed, you can be like Walt. And it's taking those lessons and taking that mentality and applying it to your goal, and you can achieve your dreams even if things don't go the way you want to do. Believe in yourself. And that's kind of prevalent things throughout the reading that you'll do. So
And friends, Kansas Leads was a crazy idea in the beginning.
Mhm.
And now we've done 10 of them. Tells you something. It's pretty fantastic. But we got great news from Dr. Watson this last weekend.
did.
Dwayne, tell him the news. Dwayne, tell him.
Oh, it it was it was kind of strange how he dropped it because he started to go into this big story and then all of a sudden, oh, I got it funded for 3 more years.
You're going to have to
So
hang out with us longer,
so
friend.
so I wanted to say that with Jordan with opening this when he said that this is our closing for that conference.
Right.
We're not
Yeah.
done.
No.
Not even close.
We've got
Yeah.
more magic to make. More magic to make.
Um,
And please go ahead.
I think that's a great transition. I think I do want to take a moment to thank the people on our team that make this magic happen. You guys see Dwayne and I all the time. Like you see us on Leeds Lounge. I like to run into you guys at the conference. Like, hey, you do the podcast. Yep, that's Dwayne and I. So much happens that you guys don't get to see. There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see. From even Smoke set up the venues for us, the change in venues, and we try to find new things. She put in legwork to find the venues and make sure they worked right, to make sure they were set up so we could be successful. She ran the tech for Jeff to make sure that his presentation was where it needed to be. It was there's that. Signy does all the food. She is an expert at the food. If you guys like the taco bar, if you guys like the barbecue, she takes care of all of that. And then she also takes it one step farther with the food that's left over. She finds places to donate it to. I don't remember the place that she went to this time. Smoke, what is it?
Lord Steiner. She donated to Lord Steiner. So barbecue went to our unhoused community here in town. So it worked out as a wonderful extension of Kansas Leads for the community.
So,
So,
and I will say, like Jordan, like Smoke, it really does take a village. We have an incredible team, but Smoke, this doesn't happen without you. You are our fearless leader. So, and we love having you as part of the team. Someone I want to give a special shout out to is someone who unfortunately wasn't able to make this one, who I was so sad because I think she has the least fun job out of all of us. Jen Farr, like she is so brilliant, and she usually does. She's an MC or does the intros, things like that. But she does all of the hotel reservations and people. You don't understand how hard she works with that kind of stuff. And then things come up, and she's constantly just right at a moment's notice. If we need to reach out, she's there. She's an expert problem solver. So I was really sad that she wasn't able to see the magic, but she still had to put in extra work. So
If you
Jen
guys like
Farr.
your swag, that's also Jen
Mhm.
Farr. Anything that had to do with paying somebody or buying something, she takes care of that. So she does a fantastic job with that.
And Lori and Tim, who have run Ed Camp Kansas with me for years and years, they were rock stars in helping pull all the pieces together, make it work. Danielle is like the big sister to everybody in the group. She gets a high five. Brian, he couldn't be there either, but
Mhm.
I have to tell you, friends, even if you only see them kind of work in the background at Kansas Leads, in those WhatsApp groups, they are your homeroom super friends. So they're in each group. We've got 4 groups. The Imagineers, that's with you two fellas and Tim. We have the Magic Makers. That one is Signe, Brian, and Lori are in the Dream Builders. The Magic Makers are, it's going to hit me in a minute here. Oh, I was wrong. We've had 4 teams actually, technically, but you don't need to know all the
It's
details. The truth
it's
are
growing.
they're all in there helping. And here's the best part. We still have room for you to join us into the book study. Right now, we're sitting at about 66 teachers in this group. We're shooting for 100. So if you want some grad credit, if you want to be a part of this, the first assignment is due on March 9th, but you're just jumping in. We're going to give you a minute. It's okay. And there is no homework over spring break at all. But we have room for you. Come join us and be a part of this great connection.
Also, if you don't feel like doing the college credit, still join us. Like you can still be part of the book study. You can still be part of that conversation and still continue the magic for the next 5 weeks. Absolutely.
Indeed. And you can get 24 PDC points if you choose not. You want to get something out of it,
Yeah.
right? Besides the great inspiration. But fellas, I have to say, I'm putting the challenge out there. We've got to go bigger yet next fall. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Good.
You know, the big wish is if we could get almost 300 people at Kansas Leads. Would that not be epic?
That'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
We have
I hope
this.
you can join us, friends. I hope you do. We spoil you. That's the best part.
I
We
mean,
do spoil
our socials have like over 1,000 followers. So like it's not even all the people that follow us on Facebook. So we could do this.
And we don't even have a destination yet. We take the Kansas Leads to different parts of the state. So if you don't want to have to drive very far, odds are we're going to be coming your direction. So we will be on the hunt to decide what our next opportunity is. Now that all the possibilities are on the table, we have to do some big dreaming, friends. I love it. All right, Jordan, Dwayne, anything before we wrap up?
I don't got anything, Dwayne. Are you ready to take us out, sir?
I'm ready. So, Jordan, thank you again for hosting this amazing thing. From our classroom to yours, we see you, we get you, and we're right there with you. Keep changing the world one child at a time. See you next time in the lounge.
From the plains to every town, we're building futures, breaking ground. Teachers rising, voices strong, leading change where we belong. It's about the hearts we raise, lighting up the brighter days. Kansas Leads, we stand together, stronger now than ever, ever. Learning, growing, planting seeds, shaping tomorrow. Kansas Leads.